Good morning again.
Good morning.
So my father had a beautiful, beautiful tenor voice. And one of my favorite songs that he sang was the Lord's Prayer. And I was just thinking one of these days I'll have to sing that here, but I'll have to do it at a time when I don't weep through it. So I don't know how long that's going to take me to do it. But so singing's kind of in my blood. But it's far different singing at home and playing around singing the records in the basement than it is doing it in front of a group like this. So, you know, in 2002, when I joined the Unity Church in Bowie, Maryland for the first time, and I was inspired to join the choir, it was quite daunting to me to sing in public and not to my stuffed animals or to the basement door. So I did join the choir and was pretty meek and just wanted to fold in with all the other voices around me and not stand out in any way. And that went on for a while until at some point I was inspired to sing a solo. And actually I sang the song that I'm going to do during the offertory today. And I tell you what, I was so terrified before I had to get up and sing that song that my heart was beating out of my chest and I could see my blouse going like this. And as the time got nearer and nearer, because of course my song was near the end of service, and so I'm trying not to worry about whether or not I've got the lyrics down pat, am I going to forget them? And then I thought, I just don't want to do this. And I just need a disaster. Something's got to hit this building so I don't have to get up and sing this song. Please, God, don't make me sing this song. And, you know, I ended up doing it and, just glad I did, because we need to do the things that we're called to do. Those are our rising moments. That's our resurrection. When we get to stand up into the things we're called to do, no matter how minor we may think they are. So the things that we're called to do are not always about changing your vocation or your job and walking away from it and starting a new career. It may be singing in the choir. It might be volunteering somewhere. It might be taking better care of yourself. It might be serving as caregiver for a loved one. It might be babysitting and having a positive effect on young minds, deciding that you want to teach a class somewhere, or that you're simply just going to be kind to every single person you meet. It might be showing up differently in your relationships. You know, sometimes we have difficult relationships in our family or at work. And sometimes we're called to show up as love when we don't feel like it. And when we'd rather show up as something else. I've often showed up as something else that I ended up not being quite proud of. And so we're called to be love. Love unconditional. And it's hard to do that. And that might be your rising, your resurrection that day. Last week we talked about Gethsemane and being on the cross, and the cross symbolizes a crossroads where you sit and think about, which way am I going to go with this? Am I going to show up the way I'm called to show up? Am I going to rise in this moment? Or am I just going to do what I'm used to doing? Because I'm comfortable there, because it's easier, because nobody's going to know that I was inspired to do otherwise. So this journey with singing for me has just been kind of up and down. So, I had that first experience and I thought, all right, I don't know that I want to feel terror like that again. But the calling to sing kept coming back. And every time I'm in those moments when I'm singing, it's pure heaven once I let go of the fact that I'm scared to death. And most of my fear was that I was afraid of what everybody in the audience would think. Because I automatically think that you're judging me. Mainly because I'm generally judging everybody else. We have our stuff. So generally what we're afraid of are the things we do in the world. Projection, yes. And so that was what I was afraid of. And then I talked to a wonderful friend of mine who's a glorious singer, Robin Hackett. And I asked her about that. And she said, if this is your gift, what is there to fear? Just step into your gift. There's nothing to figure out. You don't have to worry about what people think about it, because it's yours. And because it's your gift, you were given every single thing you need to do it. Every single thing you need to do it. And sure, we might need to practice and hone our skills, but it's all inside. Right there, waiting for us to say yes. Remember us talking about being willing to be willing? And saying yes, you hear the call. Just being willing. And so after having that conversation with her, I started saying a prayer. Sometimes out loud, because I just really need God to hear. I'm making sure you're hearing me now. And that would help dispel some of my anxiety to say it out loud. And I would just say, you know what? Sing through me, please. Because this is not about me. Because if I was given a gift and I'm to present it to whomever is in front of me, it's about what you need to hear and what Spirit needs to say through me to you through the song. And then I can let go of it. Because Spirit made the call. And Spirit has something to say. Has something to sing to you through my voice. And so when you step into the world with what you have to do, Spirit is moving through you into the world. We are God in action, God expressing our divinity come alive. And so whatever we're holding on to, saying, I don't know if I should do this, but you keep hearing the voice. You keep feeling the nudge. It keeps coming up for you. Just go and rise. And Spirit has a way of lifting us up into that rising to whatever level it is that you need to be in order to make that happen. And whatever resources you need to help you do it better, show up as you continue to say yes. They all show up, whether it's teachers. A wonderful voice teacher showed up. And he just gracefully and masterfully got me more and more comfortable with being in front and singing. And now he and I sing together at different events, and it's just the greatest joy of my life. And at some point, I even served as music team director at Unity on Forest. And when that came up, I thought, oh my gosh. I was afraid to sing at some point. Now you want me to lead others in song. And I didn't have a music degree. And so I did that for about a year and a half. So there's levels of rising. You start out here, you say yes, and then Spirit lifts you again and says, I have more for you. More ways to use your gift. Deeper ways to go. And as you rise, the things that you need to heal, heal. Every doubt, every fear, every bit of shame starts to fall away. Everything that broke your heart fuses together and is stronger than ever before. Some of you have heard me talk about that before. All of my brokenness from childhood has started to heal because I've said yes. Because in your gifts is every answer to everything you've needed. So it's not just for the world, it's for you too. As you say yes and rise and learn to fly. And it's Spirit that is the wind beneath those wings as you're buffeted up into the air. And now there are times when I hear myself sing and I think, who is that singing? And I know in those moments it's me and Spirit together because I know that's not my voice by myself. Yeah. Spirit meets us exactly where we are and takes us where we need to be. Takes us right where we need to be. And all of this is just tied into our divinity, our innate divinity, the core of who we are. Spiritual beings, sons and daughters of God, who have inherited this greatness that we forget that we have. And Jesus is the way shower. That's why we call him that. That's why I invoke that when we're saying prayer. In the name of Jesus, our way shower, he walked the path. And every time he needed to do something, he invoked divine mind. He invoked God, lifted his eyes to heaven, and said out loud, stand up and walk, you are healed. Turned water into wine. Cured the blind. There were loaves and fishes to feed the multitudes. He taught us how to pray. He showed us everything we need to do. And it's so simple, but we miss the point. Because what we concentrate on is our humanness and our brokenness and not the divinity that's instilled in our cells and who we are. So I found in the Metaphysical Bible Dictionary, this is a great reference book, it's huge, but anytime you want to interpret something that's in the Bible, you can find the word or phrase here in this dictionary. So this was put together by Charles Fillmore, one of the Unity founders. And this is what he says about the Christ. Christ is the only begotten Son of God, or the one complete idea of perfect man in divine mind. He is the embodiment of all divine ideas, such as intelligence, life, love, substance, and strength. In the architect's mind, there may be one masterpiece, but that masterpiece is the sum of all the beautiful ideas that have come to his mind. This Christ, or perfect man idea existing eternally in divine mind, is the true spiritual higher self of every individual. He's talking about each and every one of us right here. Each of us has within him the Christ, just as Jesus had, and we must look within to recognize and realize our sonship, our divine origin and birth, even as he did. We're no different.
Amen.
By continually unifying ourselves with the highest, by our thoughts and words, we too shall become sons of God manifest. The cosmic man, or grand man of the universe, often referred to by religious mystics, is the Christ, and the Christ is the higher self of man. Thus, a seemingly great mystery is reduced to simple numbers. We do not realize the nearness of this cosmic man because we have not found our real selves. Jesus Christ educated his followers to discern the real man. He taught that there is a power in man that gives him authority over the things of the world. This principle is the higher self, the spiritual man, the Christ. If we would succeed, we must bring forth the principle. It gives dominion and mastery. Dominion and mastery. Each of us can have dominion and mastery. Has dominion and mastery. It's only to recognize it and embrace it and step into it every single day as you rise. Rise. Know who you are at your core, and it solves everything. If you did nothing else in your spiritual exploration other than to really know and embrace the fact that you are divinity in action, I don't know that you'd have to do anything else. Because if you got that, you've got everything. Everything else falls away. No need to fear or doubt. No need to worry that you don't have it all. You are it all. You don't have it. You don't go get it. You are it all by your divine inheritance. So we actually have already risen. But we don't invoke it. And I will rise on eagle's wings before my God, fall on my knees and rise. How does that happen? To fall on your knees and rise at the same time. Because when we give ourselves to divine mind and embrace it with both arms, we rise. So we get to have a resurrection whenever we want. As often as you want. Because in our humanness, when we fall, we can just rise again. I fall often during the week. Sometimes I fall soon after service on Sunday. Yeah, we're human. That's what happens. We miss the mark sometimes. But that doesn't change who you are. Dust yourself off. Remind yourself who you are and rise. My prayer for you this day is that you will remember that in every single moment that you need it. In every single moment that somebody needs your gift. So that you step fully into your divinity and deliver wholeheartedly. Happy Easter to you. Take a deep breath. Whatever it is that you need to take from these words that I've just spoken, hold them now in your heart. You are life and love. You are whole, perfect, and complete. With dominion and mastery over all things on the earth. All doubt and fear is banished, for you have the power to renounce it at any given time that it crops up. Take another deep breath, breathing in the life of God, the breath of God that fuels every cell of your body. Knowing that you have everything within you to do everything that you are called to do. Take one more deep breath. Divinity, this is who you are. With very unique gifts to bring to the world. Let's just be in silence for a moment. Spirit, we thank you this morning for another day to live and express the gifts that we have been endowed with. Thank you for all the blessings that flow into our lives every single day. Love, peace, joy, vibrant health, prosperity, wisdom, divine ideas, friendship, this community, and all the people who serve it and make this Sunday service happen and do the work to keep it running, so that we may grow more fully into our divinity. And we offer this now in the name and in the nature of Jesus the Christ, our way shower. Amen.
Amen.